My name is Justin McClure, and I'm here today with
Will Sloan.
And you are listening to the Important Cinema Club. And today, it's finally here. We're doing the best films of 2025.
Yep, dropping this list 2 months after everyone else dropped it, after all the critics who go to the press screenings, who are cramming these movies at the end of November.
As if it matters. As if like their list will make a difference to elevate or help any of these films released by major studios.
I don't think they really care about that. I think
they don't.
They care about having a list that is definitive.
How many working critics are there today that like their main job is writing film criticism?
I wonder.
David Sims at The Atlantic.
Yes. What about David Ehrlich? Is that his main job?
It must be, right?
Yeah.
He's not working at like a temp job in an office somewhere.
Wouldn't it be funny to walk into Subway and see David Ehrlich?
Well, what I would say is, wow, life sucks.
Yeah.
For all of us, basically.
Yeah.
It would not be me laughing at him or anything like that.
Anyway, this is annually our most listened to episode, so I'm glad we started it off on a good note.
That's right, a positive note, if you will.
So yeah, the best movies of 2025. What did you think of the year in cinema?
I have very little thought about 2025, to the point that looking through lists, I'm like, what movies came out this year?
Here's what I think. You know, the big mainstream movies, when you look at what came out at your local multiplex and you look at One Battle After Another, Sinners, basically those two.
Yes.
You know, those are probably the two best ones you saw at your local multiplex. The two that opened at number one. And I think they were so obviously the best ones of that crop. Am I missing anything? Marty Supreme and the rest of it. You know, I haven't seen the Minecraft movie.
What about Wicked for Good, aka Wicked Part 2?
Yeah, what about it?
You've seen it? Where does it rank on your list?
I have not seen
What?
Wicked. I know.
All right, we're shutting this down.
I know.
I mean, I haven't seen it either, but...
but you know, here's the thing. It's like I look back at this year and I think seemed a little weak, at least on the mainstream movies front. But then 20 years from now, I'm going to look back. And
these were the good times.
Yeah, I'm going to see all these movies that I overlooked or that have blossomed over time. Movies that have really come into their own, have fermented in the bottle.
Like... The Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun, sure. Nowhere near my top 10 list, and it would be even further down in a healthier year. But look, I want to move on to positive stuff, because I think we both saw good movies this year, right?
Yes. I believe that last year you were like, I don't even have 10. So if you have 10, it's a step up from there.
I may or may not have 10, but I definitely have over 6 and less than 10. That I'm very enthusiastic about.
Very enthusiastic.
Yes.
All right, can we get the first one out of the way?
These are movies that I really like.
Only 9, it looks like, on my list.
Interesting.
Well, there's technically 10, but there's 2 that are on the same line, and I'll let you know why when it comes up.
Well, and I'll just say cinema is multifaceted. This is, again, why I think 20 years from now, maybe we'll look back at this year and we'll say, oh, look at all we missed. Because cinema is a huge house with many rooms. You know, the Minecraft movie is not on my list. I haven't seen it.
Go back to the Minecraft movie.
But I'm going to find out that there was some movement happening right now that I was completely unaware of. I'm going to find out there was some national cinema that was doing its best work that I was completely unaware of. I have tried to have a relatively diverse list that has interesting things on it.
So I have not looked at anyone's top 10 list. I was not even presented anyone's top 10 list on any of my social media feeds.
Well, I looked at a few of them. They're all the same.
Yes.
It's the same 20 movies from the pool, and they mixed and matched them. And hey, my list might have some of those too.
If you held the gun to my head and said you got to pick the general idea of top 20, doesn't need to be in any order, I would struggle this year. I'd be like, I don't know, once I'm getting to like 7.
Okay, well, let's start on a positive note, and this is in no particular order. I loved David Cronenberg's The Shrouds. Now, I saw this a year and a half ago because it played at TIFF, but I watched it again this morning because it went into theatrical release in 2025. I think it's one of David Cronenberg's best movies, which is not something I say lightly. It stars Vincent Cassel as David Cronenberg. Not officially, but he looks like
David Cronenberg, yes.
And as everyone knows, this movie is Cronenberg. He is working through of the death of his longtime wife. She passed away 7 or 8 years ago, and this is his statement about mourning. Premise of the film is that Vincent Cassel has created this technology where a little camera can go down into the grave with your dead loved one and can chart the course of their destruction, their decomposition. And you may think, why would anybody want that? I don't know. I think he's getting at something about mourning in this movie, about the loss of the physical presence of someone, the tragedy of seeing the physical body burn up or go into the ground. That is extraordinary. This man, this poet of the new flesh, as he's been talking about since Videodrome, the way that he weaves this plot in with a movie about the modern world and about how technology has become the new flesh, and this very open-ended, uncanny as usual depiction of our modern world. Like, Toronto has never been more of an every city, more of a generic, like, non-space than it is in this movie. I think it's a movie really of the times. So I love this film.
I struggled with this one when I saw it. It felt very Neil Breen-y to me at times.
I mean, I saw it with an audience and there was a lot of laughter.
Yeah, but I think it's on purpose.
I think so too. And
Yeah.
I went with it because, like, it is funny when he takes his date in the first scene to see his dead wife.
Yes.
And shows her on the TV.
And isn't he like solving government secrets?
Yes.
There's so many government secrets.
And I mean, I don't want to spoil what happens, but
Yeah.
let's just say it does not end in a satisfying place.
No, but maybe he may have two ladies on each arm on the way out. But I can understand when you talked about it, I'm like, I see exactly where Will is coming from. And it has made that impact with a lot of people that have seen it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never stopped thinking about it since I saw it at TIFF.
Speaking of movies that I saw at TIFF, I talked about this in my TIFF roundup. And this is one that came out, fell right through the cracks. Good News, the South Korean film about the hijacking of a Japanese plane by radicals.
And what's the film called?
It's called Good News.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
right.
I thought you were just saying good
No,
news.
it's called Good News. It like quietly got dumped to Netflix after it played like a bunch of film festivals. I think about it like when I was looking through what movies came out this year. Thank you, Letterboxd. Because of my star ratings, I can just go, all right, what did I give top stars to? Do I still feel like that? And Good News is one that I thought a lot about because of the way that it approaches. When I heard what the premise was, I was like, no, like a based on a true story thing, boring. But it's that perfect South Korean, stylistic, we're doing everything in the kitchen sink, and we're also playing so tonally about to high drama, to low drama, to what does it mean to be a figure in this important space that is doing dramatic things and that will be completely forgotten. They do not matter. In the history books, they will never be mentioned. These people in the movie do not exist. That's the whole point of the movie is like, who are you as a person? What are you doing? Does it matter if history completely forgets you? So Good News. Would recommend. It's on Netflix. Anyone can check it out now.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm going to have another movie here that I saw first at TIFF 2024 because I am trying to stick to theatrical releases.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to break that rule later.
All right. So I'm trying to stick to the ad, but I'm not going to follow it.
And you want to know why? Because this is my podcast. And
No one can stop you.
Yeah, I create the rules.
Order. I rule. Will can do whatever the hell he wants.
Hell yeah, party time. So I am now going to talk about Jia Zhangke's Caught by the Tides, his 20 years in the making film, which is a bit misleading because it's not like he set out 20 years ago to make this movie. It is, well, the first half or maybe 2/3 of it is assembled from footage shot for all of his other films, from Platform all the way to this one.
Zhang, go. We need a movie. Give me a second. Let me just put it together. Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This is like Godzilla's Revenge. It's a clip show from your previous films.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly how the conversation between him and his financiers went. But it's this, like, almost cubist film showing the last quarter century of Chinese history. It's remarkable how well this footage works together to tell a story. You know, his usual leading lady and his real life wife, Zhao Tao, who is in all these films, becomes a sort of protagonist through all of this footage. And then the last section of the movie is set, during the pandemic era in China. At least to this Western viewer, it almost felt like kind of a science fiction movie. Seeing what the COVID protocols are there, seeing the like robot waiters, seeing this society, this very ultra modern society that is similar but different. And Jia Zhangke, in his way, he doesn't exactly cast judgment. He just shows you a lot of very provocative images and says, what do you think? I think he's one of the great filmmakers alive, and this is very worthy of his pedigree.
Did you see Be Gone's Resurrection?
I have not seen it yet. Have you seen it?
No. Well, it hasn't come out of the screener yet, so no, I have not seen it. The art for it always makes me think of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Like red with that like bust. People like that one.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by what he's doing.
Let's get it out of the way. Is there a Motown film that came out this year? Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm sure it's on both of our lists.
Yep, it's Evil Puddle. I thought, should we just have the Motown film automatically? And I say no, Because that means Matt and Charlie, they got to fight for their dinner to be on this list.
That's right. That's right. Maybe one day they'll make a movie that's not on our list. Who knows?
But listen, Evil Puddle, their homage to like Irwin Allen style disaster movies. Probably the biggest film they've ever made, was the biggest cast.
Probably just in terms of scale, and also probably also one of their least expensive movies.
Yeah, and
simultaneously
gave us such classic characters as Salt and Johnny. The amazing premise in the movie that if you step on water, you freeze.
And just to reiterate the premise of Matt and Charlie, I know that we do this so often, but Matt Farley and Charlie Roxburgh make these homemade backyard movies in New England, usually in Danvers, Massachusetts. This movie, like all their films, is made with friends and family, not a single professional actor, quote unquote.
But a lot of fans in this one.
Which I think is also really interesting. It's like these movies, there's something about them that feels very open and democratic. If you travel to Danvers, Massachusetts, you too can be in one of their movies. So like Seth Vargas is in this film. Brianna Ziegler is in it as Gladys, the receptionist. The only Gladys I acknowledge as an iconic movie character this year.
Wait, is there another one?
Yeah, Weapons.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. That's not on my list.
No, it's not on my list either. But yeah, I mean, it is like in the Irwin Allen classic disaster movie tradition. It's got stories happening all over town. And, our friend Peter described the movie as like the anti-Eddington because it's all about this crisis happening in this small town and everyone banding together. I think it's a really sweet movie. And watching it with an audience, which we did.
Yep.
I mean,
ruled.
It was amazing because, as always with their movies, there's that point where, the acting is always very arch. Dialogue is very jokey. Everything's very jokey, but there's always that moment when the audience has the collective sense of, wait, I care about this.
Yeah.
Like the suspense moments they hit.
Yeah, very much in this one.
Yeah.
This may be, is this the first one that they have big suspense moments that work as set pieces?
I think so.
I think so too, where they're like using a rope and they don't want the water to fall because it will freeze. The premise of this is that water turns evil and if you touch it, you freeze. That's all you need to know. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and it's all because of a magic rock.
Yes, that can freeze time.
Oh, I also love there's that moment, watching it with an audience, that moment where Matt Farley's character like says his phone number.
Yeah.
And when you watch with an audience, they applaud now because they know that's his real phone number.
Oh, they did. The whole audience was like, woo!
Yeah.
What else you got?
Okay, just in terms of sheer pleasure, I loved The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie.
Oh, what a movie.
Tragically treated shamefully by the David Zaslav regime.
At least it got out. It could have been canceled and just never been released.
That's right. It was released by Ketchup. It's a buddy comedy starring your old friends Daffy Duck and Porky Pig as they save the world from an alien invasion involving poisoned bubblegum that turns everyone into pod people. What I like about this movie particularly is, compared to Space Jam, Looney Tunes, Back in Action, basically any Looney Tunes product since the 70s, all those movies have taken the Chuck Jones template. They've all been a certain style. And this one in its style harkens back to Tex Avery and Bob Clampett. Bob Clampett especially. Everything's in motion. Everything's really exaggerated and wacky. Daffy is no longer disgruntled. He's back to being Daffy.
Wacky, yeah.
But also, I think there's something about the style and the mood of the film that's very distinctly contemporary. It feels like it was raised by people who watched Adult Swim or stuff like that. So I think, as someone who loves these characters, I think this movie represents an exciting path forward for them that harkens back to what's best.
Man, path forward. I hope so, considering that it didn't really make that much money. The people who saw it loved it, and we're still gonna get that Acme movie.
Coyote versus Acme, yeah, it's
Ketchup, which is not some kind of money laundering scheme. I'm sure that it's not. We'll also be releasing that film.
So, what do you got?
I got another animated. I got a lot of animated films on this list. Let's talk about China's Nobody.
Oh, well.
The sweetest. Is that one on yours too?
It's on my list too. I loved this movie. And
so good.
I had no idea what to expect. Frankly, I didn't expect to particularly love it. We just saw it. Why did we see it?
Because I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Because I was it made $1 kajillion in China and it's 2D animated. So let's go check it out.
And it's a spin on the classic Monkey King tale, one of the iconic Chinese folk stories, but it's more like the Life of Brian version of that.
Mm-hmm. Where it's the characters that are not the main ones doing their own thing. It's very simple, very low key. Watching that movie and seeing how much money it made too in China gave me hope that people want this. They do not only want like hyperkinetic, like Nezatu, gigantic films, little quiet movies about quiet characters that does end in a big bang. That can work too.
I do think it has, like, the visual style is obviously indebted to Studio Ghibli. It has a little bit of Looney Tunes energy to it and a bit of a Looney Tunes sense of humor. I don't know. It's kind of a beautiful underdog story, and I was moved at the end.
Yeah.
It hit me on that level. So Nobody, directed by Yu Shu.
Yeah, search Nobody 2025 and not Nobody 2, which also came out in 2025.
Nobody 2025 Chinese cartoon,
Yeah.
and you might be able to find it. Here's one. Maybe it's on your list. Retro by Karthik Subbaraj.
It is not, but I do have some. Wow, that one's on your. You like that one that much, eh?
Oh yeah, I thought it was super fun.
That was another one. Will and Peter were like, Justin, we're going to see an Indian film. Pick one. And I was like, oh, okay. What's playing?
I think we just wanted to go to the Albion Theater, and this movie happened to be showing. Karthik Subbaraj, to be honest, I wasn't that familiar with him.
I love him. He's like the Quentin Tarantino of India.
Yeah, he did Jigar Thanda XX.
Yeah, Pizza.
And Mahan.
Jigar Thanda XX was on my list the year it came out, of my top 10 of the year.
And, this movie obviously wears its influences on its sleeve. There's a little bit of John Wick. There's a little bit of Gladiator, oddly. There's some Patch Adams in this film, which is
out of nowhere. We're like, wait, what?
I mean, it's a classic masala film where it's just got everything in it, including there is a montage of babies being fed to crocodiles. I swear to you. Now, you may be wondering, that sounds horrible. And maybe, but also, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Suffice it to say, this is a movie that has everything. It's a big, messy movie with a lot of action, a lot of comedy, a lot of babies being fed to crocodiles.
All right, so I'm going to drop 2 Indian films on you. One of them I wasn't sure if I was going to add on my list, but I want to put it mostly because I did not see this in theaters because people hated this movie. It's called Game Changer.
Well, can I just interject?
Yeah.
I do not trust any online ratings of Indian movies.
I don't either, yeah, unfortunately.
Because sometimes I'll see one, and I'm no expert.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I'll see one and I think this is fun, and I go on Letterboxd and it's all 5-star reviews, and they're like, "This is such shit." It's like, I don't know, what'd you want?
So this is Game Changer by I love this guy, even though his movies are the most grab bag things you can get. Shankar, the director of Robot. And this is this big political movie starring the most charismatic man on screen right now, Ram Charan from RRR. And it's basically, it has an amazing premise, which is he realizes you're the person that makes the rules, and that's how you gain power within the electoral system. So it's all about corrupt politics. Does it involve other people trying to do a January 6th at the end of the movie and our hero beating them with voting machines to death? Yes. So yeah, Game Changer, so much fun, as well as the very much maligned War 2.
Oh, yes.
Which, again, people were really shitting on this one, and I was like, I don't know if I'll see War 2. One of the most joyous experiences. We were like, when you leave a movie and you're just like buzzing because you had so much fun? That's all we could talk about, like, for a month afterwards.
Boy, I was sad I missed that because you did a double feature, and I could only come to the second one, and it was Coolie.
Yeah.
Which was okay.
It was fine, yeah. But it wasn't War 2.
I missed War 2.
All you got to hear from us was like, oh, War 2, though. War 2. That's the one that we had to see.
Okay, I'm going to bring up a movie that I liked a lot. One of the best times I've had at a movie. And last time I mentioned it, people were upset because of one of the stars of it. And fair enough. It's The Code by Eugene Kotlyarenko. It is a romantic comedy, sort of, about a young couple who are trying to repair their dissolving relationship. They go out to a retreat in the desert, and the movie is told, they are online attention seekers, and the movie is told entirely through screens, many different screens everywhere. And a lot of people chafe at this movie because of somebody who stars in it. And to that I say, fair enough. But also, I just saw Kevin O'Leary and Marty Supreme.
Yes.
I'm constantly seeing
movies.
movies.
Who stars in this? Let me check. Oh my God! No, Will! I don't know why I was miming doing it for an audience of just Will.
Yeah, but what I'll say is I thought this movie was really funny.
Yeah.
I also thought it was really sweet. I thought the stylistic conceit of telling everything through a variety of screens harder to maintain than it looks, and this movie did it.
Well, he did it in Spree as well,
Very
right?
similar to Spree. Yeah. And the thing about this movie is the bones of it, beyond all the stylistic panache, the bones of it are basically a normal love story, like a normal romantic comedy. And I found myself surprised how engrossed I was in that. So I think it's very funny. I think it's very fun if you can deal with certain people being in it.
Yes. Listen, am I turning off my Kevin Spacey movies just because Kevin Spacey is in it? I don't think so.
I mean, I'll probably watch Glengarry Glen Ross again at some point.
Yeah.
And that's probably it for him. You're right.
Wait, let me think. Kevin Spacey, definitely his intro at that Saudi Arabian sports award show.
Oh, that was funny.
Where he's like, isn't he like, I've got a feeling.
That was great. Or did you see the clip of him doing his one-man show in Tel Aviv?
No.
Oh, I gotta find that and send it to you. It's so funny. He does like
Oh my God.
Cole Porter songs and shit. And then there's a clip of him like with his photo like touching the Wailing Wall and him talking about.
Oh my God. I mean, you do your yearly screening of Somewhere Beyond the Sea.
his blank check movie, his One for Me. Yes.
American Beauty.
Great
I'm thinking
films.
of all the K-Packs.
Boy, it's too bad we don't have a new Kevin Spacey movie. I almost said Kevin Smith because that's who we talk about on this show.
Yeah. A new Kevin Spacey movie. He's still making them.
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. He's always doing tax shelter films in
Yes.
Europe somewhere. Yeah.
He only recently started them. Did I watch them for the Base Free Video podcast? Yes. Are
Whoa.
they bad? Yes.
Incredible. I mean, I see his like New Year's videos that he posts.
Is he still doing that? Did he do one this year?
I think it's been a while,
Okay.
but that was a fun tradition when he would do that.
All right, so let's get in the muck of DTV in Japan.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to talk about two films directed by Koichi Sakamoto, my favorite action choreographer working out of Japan. So he made one that got the attention of a festival in the States. They played it Isolated. So he's not credited as director of this film. But Isolated is part of this like 70 film feature film series about like Yakuzas and warring tribes.
70 films.
70 films. They're shot for nothing. They're all like basically on the cheapest digital video.
And do you need to see them all to keep
No,
up?
because
Okay.
this is a like spin-off film of like one of the characters. And those films are not action films. They're just like talkie dramas. But this is just a non-stop action movie. The guy gets a call. Oh, my friend has been kidnapped. I have to go save him. And it's just warehouse after warehouse, one after the other, fighting each a guy with a different gimmick throughout. Super fun. Koichi Sakamoto is not credited as director, but he's a second unit director, action choreographer, and the guy who's directed it is the guy who's credited on every movie. So he's like a Wong Jing figure, if you will. So he basically directed it. And then Koichi Sakamoto directed another film called TATSUIJIN WARRIORS, which takes place in the same locations as Isolated. But this one is all real-life martial artists, some of them appearing on screen for the first time, having to band together and defeat bad guys in these same warehouses. So it's like basically in the same location. If I had to guess, shot was in the same month, but two different film productions, all of them like 80% action.
This sounds great. Where can one watch it?
They cannot watch it.
Okay.
There's a Blu-ray in Japan of one of them. Did I do my wild trick of like renting it on Amazon Prime Japan by getting a Japanese credit card gift certificate? Yes, that's how I had to watch it.
Okay,
So,
folks, you heard it here first. This is how to watch one of the best movies of the year.
Isolated, I think it's going to be picked up by a distributor. I believe it is got enough attention, so I hope it's going to be like Welgo or something like that. TATSUIJIN WARRIORS, I don't know because I tried to buy the Blu-ray that was released in Japan, and I can't even get that. Amazon Japan will not ship it to me. No one else carries it. I think it's because it's a little distributor. Hope it gets out there. I know I've seen copies of it floating around, some of it fan subs. So TATSUIJIN WARRIORS and Isolated. Keep your eyes out, Koichi Sakamoto.
Okay, well, here's one of my very favorites of the year. EEPHUS, directed by Carson Lund, written by Nate Fisher. It's inspired, or it is reminiscent a little bit of Goodbye Dragon Inn, but it's a comedy about the end of a, what would you call it, a beer league, basically, like an amateur baseball league, because the diamond where they've been playing all these years is going to get torn down. And you stay with them all through this one long day as they're playing one long last ball game. And what's great about this team is they're not very good. Some of them are talented. Some of them aren't that talented. And it's this lament for these kinds of friendships, this kind of team you can form with people who you otherwise don't know. And these relationships will not continue, you know? And so the game just goes on and on and on because they're savoring this one last time. Well, except for the one guy who has to leave because his family is saying, hey, you're late for my daughter's baptism. Or it's a tribute to the motley nature of these, amateur beer leagues. It brought back fond memories of being in minor league baseball when I was a kid.
Yeah. Wait, how old did you play till?
When I was in high school.
Wow, that late?
Yeah,
Wow,
that's right.
I gave out in elementary school. I remember going to watch my dad play these games, and I was so bored. So bored.
I was on second base, and I realized later it's because that's where you put the kid who couldn't play very well, because he didn't have to throw very far in any direction.
Yep, that's right.
Even shortstop, you have to throw a little bit far.
Shortstop is tough, yeah.
Yeah. But I cannot emphasize enough, EEPHUS is very funny. Mm-hmm. It's very enjoyable. I just love this movie.
I would have watched it, and I was at Bay Street, and I was like, hey, can I have EEPHUS? Like, sold out. I'm like, what are you going to do?
Well,
that's the whims of the world.
Here's the thing. You're a baseball guy.
I know.
And I think you'll like this movie.
It got a lot of attention, and I know for a fact that those filmmakers, big Motown fans.
I know that too, yeah. So, you know, they have good DNA infecting them.
So, I have a beautiful thing to do. One of my favorite movies of the year. Is it a movie? It says the movie in the version that you can watch online.
Sight unseen, I'm going to say yes.
This was recommended by Toby Jones of AJ Goes to the Dog Park fame, and it is called Titanium Daydream. It was a 53-part series that was done, I'm going to say TikTok maybe, because it was like in 2-minute chunks, and it's meant to look like a PS1 cutscene, and that's all it is just like one long 90-minute PS1 cutscene about a guy with a big rose on his back who goes back to his hometown and is having these flashbacks, daydreams you may say, where he's possessed by a big figure. So like this kind of like low poly fake video game thing, we've seen it before in stuff like there was the Cartoon Network show Xavier Renegade Angel, but what's special about this one is that it's like so tonally in control that it never feels just like a bunch of wackiness, but like look at this, we're not taking this seriously. It's very committed to its bit that like if you saw a chunk of it you would assume it was part of a video game that you've never played. And I thought I found it very moving, hypnotic, and I was engaged with it by the end. I was like, will the lizard man actually be able to become friends with our hero by the end of the film? Titanium Daydream. And the only film on this list, vertical. It's not, there's no horizontal version. It's
like
all to be watched on a
style.
phone. Yes,
yeah,
exactly. So
where can it be watched?
YouTube.
Okay.
Search Titanium Daydream the movie and it'll come up. So
okay, well, here's the one where I'm going to break my rule about theatrical releases for 2025, because I think this one is probably not coming to your local theater anytime soon. So it's called With Hassan in Gaza. Mm-hmm. I saw it at TIFF this year. It was a wavelength selection. It is nothing more or less than 3 mini DV tapes, raw, unedited mini DV tapes that a filmmaker named Kamal Al-Jafari shot in 2001 when he visited Gaza. He was looking for an old friend that he had met in an Israeli prison, the previous decade. And he was taken basically up and down the Gaza Strip by this guy named Hassan, who he doesn't know where he is now. He doesn't know if he's still alive. And it's this, as I say, unedited footage where you see so much of Gaza, and this is during the second Intifada, I think. So it's haunted by the specter of gunshots also. There are many kids in it who are very excited to be on camera. There are many adults who are very not excited to be on camera, except for the ones who want to show you, look what the Israeli military did to my house. Look at what's been bulldozed over here. Look at these settlements. And when I saw it at TIFF, this filmmaker, Kamal Al-Jafari, he was saying something like, I thought about editing this into more of a conventionally pleasing or at least conventional documentary. But every time I cut something, it felt like a further erasure of this space and this time. And so this movie is very extraordinary as, this document of what Gaza was in 2001. And we all know that so much of what we see in this documentary and so many of the people we see in it are not with us anymore.
Yeah, I saw this on your list and I was like, where did Will see this? Is it available anywhere?
I don't know if it's available anywhere. I saw it at TIFF. It's played several festivals. Hopefully it will come out. If it's not out, it will come out soon in some form. It's on my list this year because I don't expect I will be seeing it at the Scotiabank Cinema next year.
Yeah, I don't think so. So I was looking real quick because when you were talking about like, oh, will it come out this year? I'm like, do I have a movie on my list that I maybe even put on my list last year? If I did, don't care.
Well, I'm just going to put Pacifiction on my list again because I think I did that 2 years in a row and Why not make it 3, right?
AJ Goes to the Dog Park.
Oh.
Speaking of Toby Jones.
Friend of the show.
The funniest movie I saw, 2024. It was technically released in 2025, though, so it counts. Yeah, I love this movie so much. I get angry when I see negative reviews for it on Letterboxd, where I'm like, you don't get it, slamming on the desk. Toby, with no money, went back to his hometown, made a movie with a childhood friend, involved everybody in his hometown in it. It's basically like a Moturn movie if it had like the pacing and gag ratio of a Naked Gun movie or like a Cartoon Network show. Because that's what Toby worked and works on to this day, but live action.
Fantastic, and it's available from Vinegar Syndrome.
That's right, a Vinegar Syndrome sublabel. I believe Cartoona put it out on Blu-ray. Ton of special features, including, wait, what's this? An hour-long interview with Justin Decloux of the Important Cinema Club. So check it out.
So the Lost Chapter, Yuki's Revenge. No, I'm just kidding. That's
Kill Bill.
that's not on here. Although, yes, we did have a Quentin Tarantino movie last year. Have you seen Megadoc yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
I know I will. I think it'll make me feel sad too a little bit.
Why do you think it'll make you sad?
Just poor Francis Ford Coppola. I know he's doing what he loves to do, but
He's having a great time.
I know he is.
Except with one man.
yes.
So
Chia.
Megadoc is Mike Figgis's behind-the-scenes documentary of the making of Megalopolis. I mean, it's no Hearts of Darkness, but it's fun. He definitely had much more access than most documentary filmmakers, although there are certain actors who clearly would not let him film them. Adam Driver, for instance, when he appears, it's kind of Bowfinger style, around the corner or that sort of thing. But yes, it is this extraordinary portrait of Francis Ford Coppola making this dream project that only he seems to understand. Everyone around him taking a leap of faith with him. He is spending money like crazy. Mind you, still a lot less than the average Marvel movie, but he'll do things like, oh, why don't I just buy the motel and have everyone stay there? Why would I rent it out? I'll just buy it. You know, that kind of thing. There are many times where he's frustrated because he's been making movies like Twixt and Tetro, little handcrafted movies, and he doesn't quite understand why he can't apply that same spirit to a movie that costs $120 million. Mm-hmm. So it's a very fascinating look at this particular artistic process in this moment in time. And Shia LaBeouf.
I know, monster. Like
Incredible.
I think maybe it's that made me be like,
You don't want
I don't want to hang out with them. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough, but you're missing out. It's fun.
So have you watched Megalopolis since we saw it in IMAX?
Of course not.
No,
it's not good.
You probably watched Megadoc before, right?
No, I mean I saw Megadoc this year, and
no, but I mean you'd watch it again before going back to Megalopolis.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I actually feel like, I feel like it's, if anything, a more compelling articulation of, well, it's like a counterpoint to Megalopolis, which has this utopian vision of we all need to listen to this great man. And this great man with his great ideas, and he will solve the world for us. And Megadoc is kind of like, okay, but what if this is the great man?
That rules. So I have one that was shockingly recommended to me through the Letterboxd streaming service that they started. Have you seen that at the bottom of your screen?
I have seen it. I haven't really dived into it.
No, me neither. But listen, I'm at the point that if I see a movie that I don't know, I'll be like, hey, what's this? And I'll click on it. This one is called Soar, Wife from the Future. It's an Indonesian film. Basically, everyone, like, the summary wasn't very clear what it was about, but it had a ton of good reviews. It's one of those ones that it has, like, so many good reviews, and you're like, oh, these are mostly Indonesian people that are reviewing this.
Interesting.
It has an amazing premise, which is a guy, he's kind of like at a weird point in his life. He's a photographer. He can't really get a show started. The whole film takes place in Croatia. So it's an Indonesian film set in Croatia. And one day he wakes up and there's a woman in his bed, and she says, hello, I am your wife from the future, and I'm here to improve your life. And you're like, okay, is this like a manic pixie dream girl thing? Like, what's going on? Here's the thing. If I hadn't seen that many good reviews of it, I don't know if I would have stuck with it past like 25, 30 minutes, because it becomes like a manic pixie dream girl. Like, she's so nice. She's helping him. She wants him to quit smoking. She wants him to quit drinking. So close your ears for like 5 minutes if you don't want to know the basic premise of the movie. It is 2 hours long. But basically, one day she's out, she catches him smoking, and she goes, I've tried so hard to do this. Okay, I'm going to restart. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then she dies. She, like, her nose starts bleeding. She passes out, and then she wakes back up in bed, And she's like, let's do this again. And you realize she's stuck in a time loop. That if she tells him he's going to die, and he's going to die in 8 years, she dies, and she has to restart. And so it becomes about, why is this happening? Why are you doing this? The ending that it reaches is so moving, and I'm also telling this premise because you may think there's something threatening that's going to happen. Like, it feels almost like there's a thriller or another shoe's going to drop. It doesn't, but it does become an existential nightmare in a way that few of these movies are, where it's like, what am I doing? How do I get out of this? Like, what does it mean to try to improve someone that does not want to be improved? And how do you get there at a certain point?
It sounds awesome. And actually, looking at it, I ought to spend more time with this Letterboxd video store that they've created.
There's some really good movies there, yeah.
Yeah, like I keep meaning to watch Castration Movie. Mm-hmm. That's one that has a lot of underground buzz, and it's just a matter of finding 6 hours, you know?
Yeah, that's only part one.
I know.
Yes.
But okay, I'm going to give you one more. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if I like this movie, oddly. But it's one that's stuck with me. It's one that I've thought about a lot since I've seen it. Images stay in my head, and I feel like that has to count for something. Mm-hmm. And in some ways, this has become one of the movies of the year for me. Love it or hate it, or somewhere in between, which is maybe where I am.
Oh man, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Dracula by Radu Jude.
Okay, so yes, I haven't seen it.
Radu Jude.
But the image of our friend Peter explaining to me what it is, I was like, boy, that sure sounds like a punishment to watch this movie.
So, Radu Jude, one of the great contemporary filmmakers from Romania, he did Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World, which I really enjoyed, Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn, which I also really enjoyed. This one, okay, it begins with a montage of 5 minutes maybe of various AI incarnations of Dracula going, I want to suck your dick. Mm-hmm. I want to suck your dick. Over and over and over.
For 5
again.
minutes.
5 minutes. And once that's over, it becomes a 3-hour movie about Dracula. It's about a screenwriter who has been tasked with creating a new Dracula film. And he gives 10 different versions of the Dracula story, all of them horrible.
Yeah.
And you're cutting back and forth between him and his versions of Dracula and the actual Transylvania, modern day version of the Dracula setting, which has been turned into this gaudy, horrible tourist trap. And it's very much a movie about modern culture. It's a movie about how capitalism, what a word, capitalism.
Yeah.
It's so pretentious when I say that. But nevertheless, capitalism has turned everything into mush and into paste on your goddamn phone. And this movie makes extensive use of generative AI.
Ugh.
It is one of the few, any artwork that uses AI that I think has merit exclusively has used it to show how bad it is and how bad it looks.
I don't know. My favorite.
I'm not saying I love it.
Yeah, my favorite use of AI recently is someone did an art installation like that. It's like the bad AI, and someone came up and started eating it. The guy's like, "You destroyed my." He's like, that's more artistic than that." I don't know, man. Yeah, that's like a real like. I also heard Radu Jude say it's my homage to Ed Wood. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
You made something bad, so you say it's your homage to Ed Wood.
Yeah, you see, now I feel like I should be the one getting defensive here because I wrote the damn book on Ed Wood. But I don't know.
But hey, what you're saying is it stuck with you.
It stuck with me.
Yeah.
And it's like when I think of 2025, this is one of the movies I think of. And I'm not sure if I like that.
Yeah.
But it's here.
Our friend Peter was like, it's just a troll. Like he's getting festivals to play this 3-hour nothing of a movie.
Boy, I wish it was an hour shorter.
3 hours long, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let me end on a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Endless Cookie. Have you heard of this movie?
No.
All right, this movie's amazing, and it just fell right through the cracks. It's Canadian, it's animated, it's an animated documentary. So basically, this cartoonist / comic book writer, Seth Scriver, interviews his brother, Peter Scriver, and over a 9-year period, he's like, oh man, my brother Peter, he tells the best stories. I'm just going to interview him, and I'll animate those stories. And what comes out of it is that his brother, Peter Scriver, is 16 years older than him, and is also from a different mother who is Cree. So his brother's indigenous, and Seth Scriver is white. So it's Seth interviewing his brother at his brother's home, which I don't have it in front of me, but is very far off the grid. He even says, like, we can't even drive up there. Like, we got to take a plane. And so what it becomes is like this animated tableau of like two people who have known each other their entire life, telling stories to each other, which are constantly being interrupted by Peter's children, who then want to tell their own stories. So it becomes like a Saragossa manuscript style, like story within a story within a story that you're coming back. And it's not didactic in the way that it tells it, but it's all about like the way that Indigenous people get treated in Canada, how Canada just sucks as well, but also a warmth and a love of all of these characters, to the point that like by the end of the movie, some of them are like, yeah, man, you've been doing this for like 9 years. Like this kid that started the movie, he has a kid of his own now. And Seth is like, huh, wow, didn't even realize that. Is there a scene where he's talking to a government organization that gave him money, and in the background there is money burning, and he's like, can I get a deadline extension on the project, please? Oh, let me put this out. And he tries to put the money out. Yes. This movie is on, in Canada, CRAVE, which is a streaming service. It's just there, just got dropped there. Mongrel Media picked up distribution rights. They're like, who cares? Let's just put it out. It's like so frustrating because if you look up they've been interviewed tons of times on YouTube, and like the YouTube links have like 95 views. 9 years in the project it took to make. There's like 500 characters, and they're all like designed in different ways. Like Peter owns like 10 dogs, and each dog, like one dog looks like a peanut. Like one dog is like, they call him ugly, so his face is like always moving. Just what animation can do, in the sense that like you can create impossible worlds all over this film. And then the backbone of it is just people telling like casual stories on mic and just laughing while all this other zaniness is going around. It's called Endless Cookie. I think in the United States it was dropped just on Amazon. You can rent it there. If not, on Amazon Prime, you can watch it. So highly recommend it.
So 2025. And One Battle After Another.
Oh yeah, One Battle. Sure. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what? I really liked it. I feel no passion for it. Like, I'm not like, I need to see it again.
I feel the same way. It's probably like maybe my 6th or 7th favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie, which means probably the best movie I saw in a multiplex this year.
Yeah, probably. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, super fun.
I mean, it's no Super Fuzz.
Now, Super Fuzz, that's a picture.
If you saw that in multiplex this year, that would have been the best picture you saw all year.
Super Fuzz. He's a super trooper, really super duper. What a picture.
Terrence Hill, Sergio Corbucci, director of some of the greatest spaghetti westerns of all time. See, ACAB, except for Super Fuzz.
Super Fuzz and Kelton the Cop are the two exemptions to that.
All right, let's clear the room of anybody who just listened to this because it was the best of 2025. It's this impenetrable riff on a Terrence Hill movie.
Do we have any letters this week?
Let me check.
We don't have to, you know.
Yeah, you know what? It's the best of 2025. We don't have any letters, but you can send us letters at porncinemaclubpodcast@gmail.com. What are you hoping to bring into 2026, which we already are on this podcast?
Oh, just renewed enthusiasm for the cinema. I
don't have a gun pointed at Will when he says that.
Man, I love movies. I don't know if that always came across on this episode, but to be clear, I love movies. I love exploring movies. I love finding movies. Heck, as I said last week, I just watched David the Rock Nelson's The Devil Ant. 3 hours of a man just going up to people with a little rubber ant and going, it's the devil ant. And sometimes the people were famous, most times not. And man, I loved every second of it. And watching that movie, which is not a 2025 movie, reinvigorated me and made me feel like, God, there are just so many horizons to explore, so many new rooms in this great mansion we call cinema.
Oh my God. Will made this expression yesterday. You said it twice on this episode already.
It never stops being true. So I love the movies. That's what I hope to bring. What about you?
You even said when you said, you're like, that's a good expression. I'm gonna have to use that again. There's so many rooms in this great mansion we call cinema.
How about you? What does this year look like for you?
Money!
Oh, that would be nice. Money.
Yeah, that would be nice. You know, me and Will were talking about this yesterday, and we were like, wouldn't it be nice if we had, I don't know, a small office or something like that we could go and do this?
Or heck, a large office. Let's dream big.
Yeah, let's dream big. Because people don't know, every time we record this, it's in the room I call the office currently in our apartment, where I have to take out a fold-out table, open it up, take out the little chairs, turn my computer chair around so I can use that. I look at like people that have like, this is our dedicated podcasting space. I'm like, how?
I know, you'll see pictures of them and they're in a studio where it's got like fuzz on the wall. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Sound dampening things.
That's what I'm talking about.
So my voice doesn't always get picked up in Will's microphone every time. So
yeah,
we can only do that Patreon subscribers or people who want to give us, I don't know, $1 million. That'd be nice, right?
$1 million would be great.
Yeah, that would pay rent on, I guess, a space. People have businesses. Why can't we start a business? What is it? What is the magic key?
We have a business right now.
We do, but not one.
Just a very unsuccessful one.
Yes, that would have an office of some sort.
Well, I don't know why we're taking this out on the listeners.
No, you know what? You are loyal listeners. It's thanks to your help that we're able to continue doing this.
It's interesting. You see, when you said, what do I want to bring into 2025? I was nothing but positive. I was talking about this great mansion that was cinema and
there's always a new room to discover.
opening the room where David the Rock Nelson is hanging out.
Well, you know what? Because I think about like goals, and man, there's not really like I've done a lot of stuff that I would have wanted to do with this podcast. Not that I'm not striving more, but like I've interviewed Ferrell and Ray like 5 years ago.
So basically,
what else do I want?
all of your goals have been reached except money.
Except money, yes. About being comfortable enough, like not having multiple conversations every week with my wife of like how we're going to pay the bills this month. So
yeah, well,
that stinks. As far as like movie stuff, and it also feels like on the Blu-ray front, like have all the like white whales been covered at this point of like stuff that you'd want to see?
Oh, that's a great question.
And not like impossible movies, like Magnificent Ambersons or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like things like there's so many. Like I have a giant deluxe version of Sledgehammer of all movies sitting on my
fantastic.
shelf. Yeah.
I mean, I'm waiting for when Severin does their Volume 2 Bruceploitation set.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll.
Are you still waiting by the phone for it to ring?
I don't expect to be invited to participate.
No. Yeah,
I'm
but
just
you're
a
gonna buy
fan.
it. Yep.
Yeah, and
Me too.
I want to see more Bruce Lee movies in beautiful widescreen.
Mm-hmm. If that ever happens, it has to, right? They're working on it. Please.
But are you excited for any movies that are coming out this year, 2026?
That's a good question. Like, if you look at my movies that were like my best of 2025, I don't think there's one movie on there that I was looking forward to.
Okay, here are some of the big movies coming out this year. Toy Story 5.
Oh, man, what's Buzz and Woody up to these days?
The Mandalorian and Grogu. By your favorite, Sean Levy. You love Sean Levy.
No. You're getting confused. That one is directed by either Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni. Sean Levy is directing the Ryan Gosling X-Wing movie.
Okay, well, too many levels.
Yeah.
Avengers Doomsday.
No, thank you. A movie for no one.
But Robert Downey Jr. is back.
Like, I loved when that Chris Evans trailer played of like him Captain America. Someone in the audience went like, okay, like when it ended.
Yeah, and The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan.
I'll see it. And you know what? I'll probably like it.
Yeah.
But am I excited for it? Am I buying my ticket in advance? I am not. All right. How can we forget some of the big ones? Panda Plan 2.
Oh, Panda Plan 2, I can't wait for. Also, Inconvenient Family or
the one where you have
Undiscovered
Alzheimer's?
Family.
That one's already out. I just think it did not open in North America.
We're talking about Jackie Chan, to be clear. Actually, so the Jackie Chan movie I'm most excited for, Rush Hour 4, shooting this summer at the behest.
Welcome to America.
At the behest of President Trump, who himself personally requested it. So
Has Jackie confirmed he's doing this?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I'm sure he will.
But if it's him, he's like, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to do this.
You know,
like,
here's the thing about Trump. I don't like anything he's done except for this. And everyone's entitled to one positive legacy.
do you like Rush Hour 3?
I like that it exists.
You do not like Rush Hour.
It's an awful
I'm going to leave
movie.
that pause there where you were like, let me think about it.
It's an awful movie, but do I like that there's a scene where Roman Polanski is on screen with Chris Tucker? Yeah, I kind of do.
You know what? I'm sure I'm going to see tons of good movies in 2025. Can't wait. Oh, man. What year is it? 2026. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope people will stay with us. You know what? I'm looking forward to discovering things through this podcast, like filmmakers and other stuff like that. So
You got it, man. So what are we going to do next week?
we're going to be doing Leonard Maltin.
That's right. We talked about him last week. We've been talking about him between ourselves a lot. Every now and then we do an episode on a critic. Many years ago, we did Roger Ebert. Pauline Kael, we did an episode on Jonathan Rosenbaum. I think it's time to turn our attention to the critic, the man whose face was on every paperback.
And for this guy, we're going to be able to do something we haven't been able to do with anybody else. We're going to watch his intros to other stuff. So, Will, we're watching those Star Wars THX intros.
Hell yeah. Cartoons for big kids.
Yeah, okay. This is the level of me and Will at. We just sat and watched that intro in Palm Springs in our hotel room.
You know, we were in the hotel room, and I just called it up, and I started playing it.
And we just sat and watched
Justin
all-
sat and watched it, and we didn't even discuss it.
No.
It was like moths to a flame.
I think the question I asked was, are there cartoons in this? Or is it just the intro? And I was like, good intro. Okay, let's just do that.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about his books. I think we both have a bunch of his books.
Yep, that's right. We want to make him as important for you, dear listener, as he is for us.
Leonard Maltin is what Roger Ebert. He's what you think Roger Ebert is.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
He is the god of cinephilia, and we're going to explain why.
I'm going to, give a warning right away that I have no nostalgia for Leonard Maltin. He was not part of my childhood. I did not watch him on Entertainment Tonight. I probably saw him on Entertainment Tonight. I knew who he was, but I had no kind of like, oh, this is the guy who knows stuff.
And you didn't have the video guide.
No, I did not either. Did you?
Oh, yeah. I had it every year. So I do have nostalgia for him.
Okay.
But as an adult, I've developed a new appreciation for everything he's given cinema.
Mm-hmm.
So Leonard Maltin is who we're talking about.
Next week, check it out. That's our new 2021.
And the balcony is closed.
Check it out. Oh, no. You know what? How about we're closing this door in one of the many rooms of cinema?
You got it. You got the hang of it. And 2 weeks from now, do you want to do the video hound?
No.
That's four bones.
So until next week, my name's Justin the Clue.
I'm Will Sloan.
Thanks for listening. Hey, everybody. I just want to jump in here to thank everyone that's been listening, as well as people that have been Patreon subscribers. This was not an easy year for me due to a number of things that happened that were out of our control. But while it's still going to be tough for a little while, I really appreciate everyone that is a Patreon subscriber to the Important Cinema Club. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have this year, and your continued support has literally been able to allow me and my family to keep going. So just a big, hearty thank you, especially before I go and completely mispronounce your name, because as per usual, I am now going to read everyone's name that is a Patreon subscriber in alphabetical order. So let's go. Thank you very much for subscribing. 10 KBC, 212 Ceiling Face, a concerned listener, a good boy, a Vok Robot, A Texera, AJ Serrano, Aaron J. Gould, Aaron Pickadesh, Abe Braun, Adam Allah, Adam Bunfanti, Adam Frost Venrick, Adam Nab, Adam Mielek, Adam Rab, Adam Roberts, Adam Trainer, Adam Walters, Adele Suto, Adrian, A Hack Fraud, Aiden Donadio, Aiden Teehand, AJ, another AJ, AJ McGuire, AJS124, Akio Forsyth, Akira Honda, Akritas, Alana Gibson, Albert Davis, Albi Santamoravia, Alec S, Alex Abbott, Alex Boone, Alex Cunningham, Alex Gielerin, Alex Galinder, Alex Griffiths, Alex Hardesty, Alex Heck, Alex Helms, Alex Hill, Alex Honeydew, Alex Jasson, Alex Laird, Alex Lines, Alex Sinesi, Alex Turner, Alex Walsh, Alex Wilson, Alexander Roth, Alexander Refford, Alexandre Fontaine-Rousseau, Alexis Nelson, Ali Fornius, Ali Quadir. I'm not going to try to do it with a French accent unless I know the person, but if I accidentally stumble into it, my apologies. Alan Brooks, Almasi CR, American Arts and Culture Review, Anark Kamukasokotaku. Thank you very much for being in the Discord and a huge supporter of the podcast. I have never had to say your name out loud. Anders Baska, Anders Hulkvist, Anderson, Andrew Boughton, Andrew Bird, Andrew Croucher, Andrew K, Andrew Knight, Andrew Knox, Andrew Craybaum, Andrew Lincoln, Andrew M, Andrew McClure, Andrew Stecker, Andy Slabow, Andy Warhol, Andy Rue68, Annette, Annie B, Anthony Warb, Anthropophagus. That's clever. Anton Person Flygare, Apple Ventus, April, Aaron Prime, Eric Marsh, Ari Rosner, Eris, Arctic Sound, Ashley Nuftool, Ethan Lividitis, Atif Ahmed, Austin Alderman, Austin Elliott, Banshee Neat, Battleground Productions, BDA, Bexon Sarsen Bayev, Ben Bates, Ben Borchard, Ben Curtis, Ben Goldberg, Ben Hartman, Ben Sheets, Benjamin Allen Dixon, Benjamin Asprey, Benjamin Socosio, Benjamin Vaughn, Benjamin Watcham, Benjamin Woodard, Benji Dog, Benny Muduchowitz, Big Lou, Big Nick 69, Bilbo T. Baggins, Billy Jackson, Binks Bowling, Birds All Day, BJP, Blake Crean, Blake Erickson, Blake Rome, Blitzball Apologist. Oh man, that's a reference to Final Fantasy in case people in the audience don't know what that is, specifically Final Fantasy X. B-Man, Bootsy, Boraj Perez, Bradley Dixon, Bradley G. Wall, Bram Reuter, Brando, Brandon Bollert, Brandon Bolin, Braden Benham, Braden Bunker, Bren Aduz, Brendan Murray, Brennan Fafench, Brent Oliver, Brian Blake, Brian Bucknell, Brian Jerome, Broken Flowers 20, Brian Clarkson, Brian Dembinski. Sometimes I'll say that if it's all in caps. Bryce Jones, Buck Bloomingdale, Butterfielda, Buzzkill, C, capital C, C Puffer, CM Crockford, Kaylin Penny, Caleb Clements, Caleb Cunningham, Kalen Barse, Calvin Vaughn, Cam Ainsworth, Cameron Ainsworth, Cameron Dagg, Cameron Gunn the second, Cameron McNutt, Captain Camille, Carlos Cuba, Carlos Ramirez, CB, Cemetery Denny, the I is in lowercase, CF, Cam Ferguson, Chamberlain, Chanok, Charles Davey, Charles Smar, Charles F, Charlie Rogers, Charlie Coffee, Charlie Richards, Charlie Roxburgh, Chase East, Chase Zoo, Checkerboard, Chris Barry Goss, Chris Berube, Chris C, Chris Copeland, Chris H, Chris M, Chris Momberly, Chris R, Chris Sherman, Chris Swall J, Chris Valone, Christian Schrader, Christian Cree. Is that an English word? Can you say Christian or is it Christian Cree? Christopher Baum, Christopher Coleman, Christopher Geary, Christopher Luke, Christopher Nicastro, Christopher Polchin, Christopher Salt, Christopher Small, Kian Leons, Kieran Judge, Cineclub Podcast, CJ Fusco, CJack47, Claire Ballard, Clay Thibodeau, Clayton Flesher, Clint Eisinger, Coconut Crab, Cody Johnson, Cole Flowers, Cole Kirkendall, Cole Smith, Colin Breen, Colin Erner, Colin Geddes, Colin Gillis, Colin Griffiths, Colin Leadbeater, Colin Ford, Connor Habib, Connor Meeham, Connor Willingham, Corey J. Brewer, Corman's Inferno, Covey M, Crapmaster, all lowercase, Crates, Chris Lexwick, Curtis Luciani, CWWD, Damon Shanks, Dan Bowling, Dan Culberston, Dan Dillon, Dan Erdman, Dan L, Dan Port, Dan Spaventa, Dan Young, Dan O'Woolley, Dane Spolter, Daniel Ackerman, Daniel Acosta, Daniel Benoit, Daniel Champion, Daniel Demois, Daniel Heary, Daniel Jordan, Daniel Lipinski, Daniel Leary, Daniel Nelson, Daniel Nichols, Daniel Owens, Daniel Warfart. Man, I know you are a loyal listener and you've been with us forever. I do not know how to pronounce your last name. I apologize. Daniel Reiferscheid? Oh boy, I don't even think I'm within a 100-mile radius on this one. Daniel Ross, Daff, Dario, Darius Jonish, Daryl Riley, Daryl Atkinson, Dave Wright, David Annandale, David Bertrand, David Bierling, David Cahill, David Dean, David Hamilton Smith, David Johnson, David McCarrison, David Munkrath, David Petticord, David Soul, David Springfield, David Watkins, David Wynn, Davis Grant, Dewey, Declan Harzam, Dennis Filion, Derek Schultz, Devo, not the band, Digikarot, Dylan Lamb, Demetrius Crotogianus, Dion, DK, Dr. Penis, Dom Sinicola, Don Picton, Don Schwartzma, Donald Patterson, Donovan Lewis, Doodles 2112, Dove Sounds, Dr. William Rosno, Drew Cohn, Drew Krapjanov, DS, Dustin Eisman, Dwight, Dylan Harrington, Dylan Huang, Dylan Mayer, Dylan Mum, Eamon Kenny, EBD, Echo, Edward, Edridologist, Eric Krux Usterund, EJ, Elizabeth F., Elliot Burrows, Elliot Jones, Elliot Schugel, Elsie Creighton, Elsie Lewison, Emalco, Emil Hansen, Emil Dirks, Emily K., Emmett Crudas, Inui on Me, Enzo Valente, Eric Hefter, Eric Hilliker, Eric Joseph Leffler, Eric Marchin, Eric Trelinsky, Eric Ward, Eric Apland, Eric Jarvis, Eric Wikilund, Aaron Whiteley, Erky, etc., Ethan,
Ethan Cartwright, Ethan Johnson, Etienne Crepeau, Evan Andrews, Evan Karras, Evan Gordon, Evan Laffer, Evan Supple, Fall of Capitalism, ASMR, Phantomos, Ferris, Farttown, Farttown, Fazoli, Felicity Shagwell, Fiji Mermaid, Finta McGrath, Flurndip, Fletcher C., Fletcher Dowell, Florian Weigel, Foldable Lemons, Food Bucket Jesus, Fran Evers, Francine Nilsson, Frank Ritz, Frank Stock, Frank Vok, Frank Rizzo, Franny House, Freya, Frecklevision, Gabe Settler, Gabriel Bass, Gabriel Goldman, Gage Dreiss, Gage Miles, Galen Wilson, Gallifron, Gamera Sanders, Garrus Marley, Garrus Pashley, Garlic Fred, Garrett Frazen, Gary John, Gavin Byrne, Gavin Montgomery, GC Wolfman, Genka, Jeffrey McPhail, Jeff Wood Jones, George Johnson, George Miller, George Shaw, George White, Giallozilla, Giant Gorilla. Now, I'm giving you the big voice, even though your name is written all in lowercase. Glenn Del Rossi, Glints, GMS, Going Over Our Freds, Goose with a Little Hat, Grant McAllister, Grant Wishes, Greg Eggenbean, Greg Lopez Fitzgerald, Greg McDonald. I ain't reading the next one because you know who you are. And like I said on the previous episode, no joke names that are just here to make me say silly things. But I'll say the next one. I'm happy and I'm normal. Ian Moss, Ian Clark, Ian Dickinson, Ian Doyle, Ian Keiss, Ian Keys, Ian McNamara, Ian Stratton, Ian W, initials JD. Hey, those are my initials. Intensive Purposes, Isaac Coleman, Isaac Morell, Ivan, J Stephen, JZ, JP McD, Jace, Jack Anderson, Jack Bedesi, Jack Bishop, Jack Book, Jack Charles, Jack Frayne Reed, Jack Laporte, Jack Meisterick, Jack Noseworthy, Jackie Lelis, Jack Parallax, Jackson Blacker, Jackson Mello, Jackson Noel, Jacob Bowles, Jacob Fellman, Jacob Forster, Jacob McLaughlin, Jacob Marovich, Jacob Mervin, Jacob Sanders, Jacob Skidmore, Jacob Vassar, Jacob Walters, Jacob Peterson, Jay Gill, Jake H. Richardson, Jake Chanot, Jake the Cat, Jake Tibbs, Jacob Durasco, James Baker, James Cole, James Cullen, James Luzarder, James Long, James M. McLeod, James Major, James Newton. Oh man, I did it with the French accent. James Major, James Newton, James Overholtzer, James Van, James Waters, Jameson, Jamie Wright, Jan Hammer Sledge, Jason B, Jason Sai Min. Wow, they actually put the pronunciation in there. And all right. And I did have to stop because I did this all. I recorded every single name, and then when I looked at the recording, it didn't record. Oh my God. So, from this point on, please be aware I am reading your names a second time, and I will try to go in with just as much enthusiasm as I had the first time. But please know, I have gone a little bit batty. So let's keep going with Jason Hoff, Jason Lewis, Jason Prince, Jason Reed, Jasper, Javier Nunez, J Jeffrey, JD, hey, those are my initials, Jeff Chanley, Jeffrey Shorts, Jenkum Terry, Jeremy Hansen, Jeremy Hawkins, Jeremy Keys, Jeremy Nyhois, Jerome Cron, Jesse Bossingham, Jesse Ferguson, Jesse J. Hayes, Jesse Lopez Sapero, Jesse Shira, Jessen Fox, Jim Campbell, Jim Vance, Jimmy R, Jimothy, Jingy Minami, Jerka Railha, Joe Bolse, Joe Blevin, Joe Clark, Joe Gallagher, Joe Greenwood, Joe McGregor, Joe Probus, Joe Signorelli, Joe Kusumano, Joe the Lion, Joey Wolfson, Johannes Masade, Johannes Maintrup, Johannes Chanchinger, John Abel, John Campbell, John Daniel, John Doe, John Lettingham, John McGuire, John Otto, John Paul McKenna, John Petrovich, John Semley, John Toes, John Valley, John Van Atta, John Walsh, Johnny Mockney, John Pat Taffpat, John C, John Freeman, John W, Jonah A, Jonah Puskar, Jonathan Anuj, Jonathan Dare, Jonathan Milo Salvajic, Jonathan Ridgway, Jonathan Rose, Joner, Juice, Jordan,
Jordan Kreitzenberg, Jordan Friedland, Jordan Sekerishia, Jordy Massison, Jordan Thornton, Joseph Bergmark, Joseph Torchinsky, Joseph Walls, Josh Bernhard, Josh Ferlin, Josh Iron, Josh Katz, Josh LaBelle. Boy, I feel very lightheaded right now. But, you know, if you're sticking around, you're listening to all these names, either because you want to hear your name, because it's Josh LaBelle, or it's a J, or it's Josh Tabish, and you're flipping through, or you just want to hear me mispronounce something, I mean, congrats. You've already heard it many a times. How about I talk about the podcast that I listen to? So I'm in a big video game mood these days. I listen to a lot of video game podcasts, even though I try to limit my video game playing to a healthy place, because sometimes, like, I love playing video games, but I often feel, if it's like a long game, like 100 hours, kind of, I don't know, deflated when it ends, because it feels like, not that I didn't do anything, but I didn't get enough out of it. But yeah, I still love video games, though. All these podcasts are almost all video games or movie podcasts. So Axe of the Blood Cod, which is an RPG podcast. Big fan of that. Best Movies Never Made. That is an excellent podcast that goes through scripts or the histories of films that never got made, and they often do script readings. The Blank Check podcast, which I very much enjoy. Doughboys, Get Played. Those are two podcasts that are co-hosted by Nick Weiger. Very, very funny. I've gotten recently into the Giant Bombcast, something that I never listened to before, and I only started getting into them because there was that whole kerfuffle about them breaking off and going independent, and I started listening to them. They are a great It's My Turn to Put the Baby to Sleep, and I have to lay there for half an hour to an hour podcast as I set up. Giant Robot FM, that's a good mech podcast that go through series, or their history podcasts are amazing, where they go through like how a series came to be. Hey, That's Me, that's a great commentary podcast hosted by Patrick Cotnor and Brian Lynch, where they go through, or they get guests that can do commentaries on movies that otherwise they usually wouldn't. Like, for example, the actor that played the Predator in the movie Prey does commentary over his movies, or even like big names like Brian Henson did a commentary over Muppet Christmas Carol, which is great. Manga-splaining, even though that they are, I think, on hiatus, but I love their podcast a lot. Mobile Suit Breakdown. This is another kind of like mech anime based podcast. This one specifically centered on Gundam, where they go episode by episode through series. They're going chronologically, I believe, right now. And what's great about the podcast is that they actually use it as a launching pad for talking about like historical subjects or cultural subjects. So it's not just about like a sum up podcast, which that's what really interests me. A history podcast smuggled into your Gundam podcast. Second Gate, Podcast The Ride. I'm looking at the Patreon tier. And yeah, this one is great. I love Podcast The Ride. They are like really fun to listen to. I don't know why I started listening to them. Maybe one of the Doughboys appeared on it, and I just got hooked. One of the ones I look forward to the most every week, especially like their Third Gate podcast, which is the real deep cuts. They actually did an episode that was similar to our ventriloquist one, where one of the hosts talks about all the puppets that he's obsessed with, much to the chagrin of one of the hosts. I also got Tokyo Scope, which is an amazing podcast hosted by Patrick Macias and Matt Alt, where they talk about kind of Japanese news or things that they have done in Tokyo, because that's where they live. Quest for the Best, which is one where they go through anime every week, even though that this one has some of the most painful inserted ads by whatever hosting service that they do, which are just noxious gambling ads. We got Retronauts Classic, a video game podcast, which I only started listening to because it was co-hosted by Bob Mackey of the Talking Simpson podcast. And I love Talking Simpson, and also What a Cartoon that they do, where they do deep dives into The Simpsons and other series. Probably one of the first ones that I really started following religiously that was not The Flophouse, which I also keep listening to. Or Kevin Smith's. Yeah, so probably like Kevin Smith's, The Flophouse, maybe Talking Simpsons I got into, and then that kind of led to different places because they have really fun guests. Insert Credit, which is another really fun podcast hosted by a bunch of people. I started listening to that one because my pal Matthew Kumar said that he basically had become a regular host during the pandemic, and then I started listening, and he has only appeared on it once, I think, since then. But you know what? The other hosts have a real good attitude when it comes to video games, so I listen regularly and look forward to. The Lonely Island podcast, one that I don't think I'd be a big fan of if you told me what it was, but man, these guys have such great chemistry, and it's fun to listen to, so it doesn't, I don't really listen to any like star breakdown podcasts, but this one, it's the one I can get behind. I also have The Daily Planet, which is a news podcast where they talk about like news with the respect that it deserves. None. Okay, let me say news podcast, movie news podcast. They just have like the right attitude when it comes to stuff, and they spend as much time as it needs, which is often not that much. Video game podcast, They Create World, which is like deep dives into games or companies, even though it tends to skew to early video games, which, I have a kind of passing interest in, but it's interesting enough that I listen to. That one was recommended by Mike Wood, actually. But so those are most of the podcasts that I listen to. Oh, and I skipped over the Matt Farley infomercial podcast. If you have any interest in Matt Farley, sometimes it's just him talking, but in the last few months, it's been kind of tour diaries, and I love these because he does them where it's at the beginning, before a show, and then after the show, so you get to see the duality of man every episode. There's a few more here, but those are the main ones that I listen to. So, continuing with the names. Boy, my voice is completely shot. Let me just take a drink of water here. All right, so continuing. Josh LaBelle, Josh Tabish, Joshua Barfoot, Joshua Brown, Joshua Clark, Joshua Gonzalez, Joshua S. Green, Joshua Sklar, Joshua Tarchala, Josiah Sutton of the Fruitless Podcast. Hey, free advertising. Jocelyn Moneyron, JP Meldrum, JS, JT60564, Juan Callahan, Juan Damien, Julio Maria Martino, or Julio Maria Martino, Junie Senki, Jerb, Justin Forlenza, Justin Haley, Justin W. Hey, Justins, what's up? Oh, one of them is called No Fun Justin. I think you're fun. Kay Walsh, Kay Parrington, Caro Von Braun, Kale Erickson, Kara and Dawson. Hey, you getting 2 listeners on 1 Patreon account? Well, you know what? Good trick. Kate Hutowski, Kathleen Cummings, Keldon Bester, Kemble McClure, Ken Nichols, Kenji Garland, Kenneth Hagerman, Kenny Hedges, Kenny Jones, Kenny McHaley, Kenny McHale Honey. There we go. Got it. Nailed it in one. Carrie Champion, Kevin Barr, Kevin Johnston, Kevin Matthews, Kevin McCandless, Kevin Shaughnessy, Kevin Sweeney, Kieran Casey, Kirk Sathoff, Klon, Knuckle Scraper, Cosmish Music, Christoph, Kurt Freeman, Cuss Namla, Kyle Bates, Kyle Cox, Kyle Gustafsson, Kyle McStay, Kyle Smetana, Kyle Starlinger, L. Hollier, Lance Bronco Jr., Lance Garrison. I would also like to thank all the names that I recognize that have been patrons or have just followed me multiple places for a very long time. I appreciate it. I recognize your names, and it fills my heart with joy every time that I see them. Lars Henriks, Laurel Valentine, Leaves on the Line, Lee Calloway, Lee Henderson, Lee Elliott, Leo Martin, Leo Martinez, Levi, Liam James, Liam McDonald, Liam O'Connell Becker, Lynn Olson, Lisa Silver, Liz Ryerson, Lobster Johnson, Locum Dinom, Logan Mann, Logan Robert, Lauren Kilgore, Louis Waters, Louis Philippe Gagnon, L. Ron Howard. Whoa, Ron Howard listens to my podcast? Boy, I hope you didn't listen to the episode that I did about you. Lu Yu Schwan, Luke A. Cross, Luke Bellamy, Luke Field, Luke Lafferty, Luke Sims, Luke Thomas, Luke Welling, Luke Williams, Luster, Lin Min May, Makemura, Malcolm Geary, Mallory, Mark Blanchard, Mark Catapano, Mark Sejornij, Mark Snornij, nailed it. Mark Grimpo, Marcus Ortiz, Marcus Andrews, Marcus Jones, Mariana Satterley, Mark Felser, Mark Gillis, Mark Kerwin, Mark R. Deming, Mark Ricky, Marcus Eklund, Marcus Hubert. My eyes are literally unfocusing at this point. Marcus Zimmerman, Marty G, Marxismology, Mason Colburn, Matt Bajzek, Matt Sesnick, Matt Cook, Matt Cornell, Matt Dimmick, Matt H, Matt Haller, Matt Kludge, Matt McKenzie, Matt Moriarty, Matt Simpson, Matthew Davis, Matthew Farley. Yes, that is the Mr. Farley. Matthew Gadsby, Matthew Giafino, Matthew Palmer, Matthew Smith, Matthew Thomas, Matthew Welch, Mathieu Elanger, or, in case he's not French, Mathieu Elanger, Maddie Cuvillier, Max Pittman, Max Siegel, Maxwell Dickinson, Melissa, Mia Vitali, Michael, and Adrian Goer,
Michael Anthony Gonzalez, Michael Carroll, Michael Chiecci, Michael DeForge. Ooh, Michael DeForge. I don't want to put him on blast or anything, but he is an amazing author, and I highly recommend you check out his graphic novels. Michael D'Annunzio, Michael Frollo, Michael Garland, Michael Keane, Michael Knotts, Michael Lane, Michael Larson, Michael Murphy, Michael O'Leary, Michael Van Fleet, Michael Willis, Michael Wintz, Michael Zabrotsky, Mickey Savage, Midsize Sedan, Mike Gallagher, Mike McCollum, Mike Malloy, Mike Opal, Mila Stanisic, Minnesota Turtle, Minu Jun, Mitch Ringenberg, Mert, Moist Boys Podcast, Mona Weiser, Moss Lelko, Mr. Possum, Miss MX45, N, Name, Naomi Walker, Nate Hamlet, Nathan St. Paul, Nathan Hornblower, Nathan Troit, Nason with Nikki, Nathaniel Hendricks, Nathaniel Pickens, Nathaniel Tyson, Natty Noisy, Ned Daniels, Neat Zen Zimmerman, Neil Fuller, Nestor T, Newman's Own, Nicholas Peters, Nicholas Sullivan, Nicholas Zeller, Nick Zach, Nick Bush, Nick Fulton, Nick Petrecka, Nick Playfair, Nick Porter, Nick Richardson, Nick T, Nick V, Nick Workman, Nicky the Fox, Nicola Prett, Niels Harpoth, Nico Schmidt, Niels, Noah H, Nolan Rabin, Nolan Tuck, Nolan H, Not As Far West, NR, of course, or obviously, of course, Octavia Leona Man, if you're listening to this and you know that I recorded this twice, how many jokes am I repeating? You would be surprised to learn many of them. Okay, Neat, Oleg Karatin, Oliver Crane, Oliver Evans, Oliver Quinn Miller, Oliveira, Ollie Drumbum, 1 second before. Or, maybe it isn't surprising that I repeat the same joke. Same brain saying all these names for the second time. One True Patron, Oren Lehman, Page, Palmer Johnson, Paolo Malagar, Parker Houston, Parker S., Patrick Carroll, Patrick Klein, Patrick Kennedy, Patrick Macias, Patrick McCallahan, Patrick McNally, Patrick O'Donnell, Paul Caravello, Paul Stokes, Paul Benjamin, Pear Drop, Penultimate Tommy Wiseau, Pep Paul Per Hasselstorm, Pete Bondurant, Pete Lawson, Pete R. Hill, Peter Brannon, Peter Demers, Peter Jim, Peter Kaplowski, Peter McDonald, Peter McGann, Peter Shear, Phil Brown, Phil Dreisen, Phil Wardcock, Philip DeClue. Yes, that's right. I make my brother pay for the Patreon. Philip Jeffries, Philip Siegel, Philly Pratt, Phoebe, Pierre Henry, Piss and Shit, Please and Hello, Poochie D, Preston McFarlane, Problem Child 2 on DVD, Procopolis, Psalm Fron, Puppy Man 8334, QPLK, Quinn Henderson, Rainer Kienbach, Ralph, Randall Silver, Randy, Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau, Ray, Regan Jones, Relaxock, Rich Gabe. All right, I need to take another sip of water, as I don't know if you can hear my child screaming in the background. He is in a very excitable mood now where all he wants to do is stomp around and yell at us if we're not doing the exact thing he wants us to do, which is usually picking him up so he can knock picture frames off the wall. Relaxock, Rich Gabe, Richard Chandler, Richard E., Richard Wellens, Richard Whitby, Rick Kane, Rick Nett, Rico Underwood, Riku Iso Marku or Riku Iso Marku, Rita May, Ron Lynch, Rob Galligan. Wait a minute. Is that a name of one of my old bosses? I'm going to look it up right now. No. Okay. That would be weird if one of my old supervisors at a post-production place listened to my podcast, who was told me to my face when I ran into her on the street that I was very bad at my job. To continue, Ron Lynch, Rob. These are the insights you only get when I've been recording for probably more than an hour. Rob Galligan, Rob S., Robbie Beck, Robert Brewy, Robert Denby, Robert Jackson, Robert Krantz, Robert L. Newsom, Robert McDonald, Robert Moeller, Robert Musker, Robert Riot, Robert Stone Youngblood, Robert White, Robin B. I just panically looked and I was like, am I still recording? I set it all up, so hopefully that same mistake will not happen again. Robbie Vilkasis, Rockwell White, Roman Pesarov, Ronan Kelly, Rose Gunn, Ross Burke, Roy Den Boer, Roy Tannar, Rude Dog, woof, woof, Runar, Rune Bird, Tweet, Russ C., Russell Griffiths, Russell Hall. There's more jokes this time around, so I'm glad I recorded it second time. Ryan Dorfler, Ryan Golan, Ryan McCulloch, Ryan W., Rin S., Sasha Kingston Wayne, Sadie Carter, Sam Hackney, Sam Ray, Sam Time, Sam Westergaard, Sammy Gold, Sam Grass, Sammy Rogers, Samuel Medina, Samuel Whaley, Sanjay Shetty, Sarah Cleary, Sarah Kilpack, Sasha Kellerman, Saturn's Core. Hey, Saturn's Core. Great Blu-ray label. One of my favorites. Buy their stuff. Say what? I hope by this point, if you've been listening to all the names, you're like in a trance of some sort. So anything that I tell you, you will follow along. Spembo Lembo. I will not abuse that power. Don't worry. Scott R. Scotty Gilmer. Scupine. Seamus. Sean Enright. Sean Fuller. Sean Hawkins. Sean Holcomb. Sean Krush. Sean Trainer. Sean White. Sebastian Kumar. Sebastian Perry. Sebastian Lepre. Or Sebastien Lepre. Or Sebastian Lepre. CLK, Seth Baldwin, Seth Calloway, Seth LeJoc, Seymour Butts. We got a Seymour Butts in the house. Shakura T. Chauvin Sawyer, Shane, Shannon, Shay Kelleher, Shit W. Shivansh Raman, Simon Barrett, Simon Ennis, Sinjin, CJ Adams, Skandor, Akbar, Snack, some guy, some sketchy guy. Sophia Johnson, Spencer E. Jones, Spencer Matson, Stamenko C., Stein Eric Rutledal. Did I finally get your name right, Stein Eric? Sten Walker, Stephen Frott, because I know that's a guy. He's in the Discord and he rules. He's the guy that actually said, like, you got to watch this Captain America director's cut that somebody in the Discord shared. So he is one of the OG, and he always recommends great films for my mind melter. Big into Norwegian cinema. If you want to know about Norwegian cinema and the Important Cinema Club Discord, ask Stein Eric Rutledal. Sten Walker, Stephen Fott, Stephen French, Stephen Jennings, Stephen Keelback, Stephen Wortland, Stephen Parker, Stephen Strozer, Steve Belanger, Steve Putz, Steve Sherritt, Stephen G. Bass, Stuart Anderson, Stu Watson, Stuart Ness, Stuart Shepard, Suburban Cowboy, Sue Kelly, Super Engine, T. Hodler, T. Goodwin, Tail Glow, Tales of Tales, Tanner Tefelsky, Tarek M, Taylor Smart, T that is iced, Ted Rowland, Teddy Buffa, Tenerance, Terry Cree, The Mega Powers Erect, The Art of B, Theodore Falk, Theodore Hanush, The Welfare Lobby, This Town is Doomed, Thomas Calhoun, Thomas Donnelly, Thomas Garton, Thomas Radke, Thomas Ron, Thomas V, Thomas Van Venendal, Thos West, Tiago Manem, Tim C, Tim Hilbert, Tim Johnson, Tim Willows, Timon Beek, Timothy Klein, Timothy Gabriel, Tom Golden, Tom Taylor, Tom Vincent, Tomislav Sapik, Tommy H, Tommy Scarpinato, Tor Peterson, Totally Wizard, Travis S. Tatch, Travis Webb, Shree Mabry, Trey McKinley, Tristan Fiddler, Tristan Sandler, Tristan Wheeler, Troy Rez, Troy Schultz, Truman Meyer, Turbo Snore, Turka Wylinen, Tyler Bagby, Tyler Lovell, Tyler Northcutt, Tyler P, Tyler Plunkett, Tyler Thibodeau, Under the Floorboard, Uncle Gra, Vehement Films, I can never say that word correctly, Vincente Perez, Victor Agiv, Vincent Franks, Voljoy, Mibiekia, Waff, Walker Roberts, Warble Flutter, Waterbird, Whee! Whole Bowl of Fun, a.k.a. Jacob Boland, Will Aiken, Will Allen, Will Barshop, Will C, Will Comrie, Will McGovern, Will Perkins, Will Lusted, William Buckingham, William Jones, William Madsley, William Waterhouse, Willow, Wombat, Yiso, Z-Twig, Zach, oh God, I'm so close, I'm in the Z's, Zach Osgood, Zach Brady, Zach Tennant, Zachary Ainsley, Zachary Ceranic, Zachary Gamble, Zachary Hollingsworth, Zachary Kaplan, Zachary P. Way, Zachary Souza, Zachary Warmbrot, Zach Fuller, Zach Z, Zach Schindler, Zeke Fairley, Zinnia Flowerbud, Zork, Zoid Wheeler, and finally, Thank you very much for listening, subscribing, and thank you, Will, for just staying silent in the corner there as I read all those names. And as we usually do, let's just have a conversation, which is definitely happening right now when we're jumping right into...
You know, there's a movie we watched together a few weeks ago when we were in Palm Springs. Another movie that we watched in your hotel room just while we were killing time, and we didn't bring it up. And Justin's laughing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if this is to be our most listened to episode of the year, I think you all need to know about Kung Fu Mahjong.
Mahjong number 1.
That's
There's
right.
3 of them.
It's a trilogy.
It's Kung Fu Mahjong 1. So did you just see Kung Fu Hustle? And you're like, man, I would love some more Kung Fu shenanigans for my Kung Fu Hustle friends. It's like, do I have the movie for you? I hope you're very well-versed in the rules of Mahjong. Because if you're not, you may be a little bit lost. But you're going to get Yung Hua, who is one of the co-stars in Kung Fu Hustle, as well as
one of the 7 Little Fortunes.
Yeah.
Yuan Hua, when he was growing up at the Chinese Opera Academy, he suffered under the brutal tutelage of Master Eugene Yun, alongside his brothers in arms, Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, Yuan Biao, Corey Yun, a whole galaxy of Hong Kong stars. Yuan Hua became a sort of stuntman / character actor. He was in Eastern Condors. He's the villain in that film, the one who has the laugh, like hee 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 hee.
Yep.
I can't do the laugh, but you know what I mean.
he mostly played the villain in movies.
And in Kung Fu Hustle, Stephen Chow's film from 2004, he of course had a very prominent supporting role in that film, as did Yuan Q, who
Was also 7 Little Fortune.
that's right, and she played the landlady in Kung Fu Hustle. She basically reprises that shtick in this movie. Kung Fu Mahjong, what you need to know about it is it was made in 2005, the year after Kung Fu Hustle, probably months after Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, definitely.
It was produced and co-directed by Mr. Wong Jing,
The god.
the king of shit, the god of schlock.
I think you mean the god of entertainment, Will.
Do you think I was speaking pejoratively?
I mean, if people don't know and they hear you call him the king of shit.
Look, everybody shits. It's natural. Like, it's value neutral. But yeah, Wong Jing, he's made well over 100 movies, maybe over 200, maybe over 1,000 for
Who
all I
knows?
know. God of Gamblers, Future Cop, City Hunter, Royal Tramp, High Risk.
How does it feel that, do you own Future Cops on Blu-ray, the version that Eureka put out?
Of course.
Isn't it weird that you're like, this is a special edition of Future Cops?
I know. And you know what's also crazy about this time we're living in? Eureka put that out in a super limited edition because they were like, we don't have great elements.
Well, I think it's like, we may be sued by Capcom because it's Street Fighter 2 characters and we don't have the rights to those.
Oh, well, they blamed it on elements. They said,
did they?
They said it wasn't up to our usual visual standard, to which I say, that's crazy that's even a thing now, because we were watching these movies.
That was an excuse.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was like, we're doing it this way. We don't want to be too wide because if someone who has the rights, especially it's like a Japanese company, and there is no parody laws in Japan, so you can get sued for that kind of stuff. So
I see. Well, anyway, Wong Jing, a schlockmeister in a good way.
Yes. Now, do you want to? We're talking about Future Cops. Can we make a case for Awaken Punch? His remake, his unofficial adaptation of the video game Tekken. Have you seen Awaken Punch?
I have not seen it.
Whoa!
I
Sammo
know.
Hung co-stars in that movie. Andrew Lau, director of Infernal Affairs, a man who's never made a bad movie. Some would call. Remember when he got like a film produced by Martin Scorsese off of the Infernal Affairs bump?
I know. Was that
Green Dragon something?
right,
like,
yeah, that's
Revenge of the
right.
Green Dragon. And what's wild about Andrew Lau, for people who don't know, he was like one of Wong Jing's main cinematographers who became a director. Now that's a king of shit. He's like, what do you want me to make? Yeah, whatever. And he just kind of stumbled on Infernal Affairs and it became like a gigantic hit.
Well, what I love about Wong Jing is he's a kind of like Steven Spielberg of schlock in the East. Again, I say that with love.
Yeah.
So, he had factories of movie making, okay? He had lots of people who were like junior Wong Jing's working for him.
Yeah.
Kevin Chu Yanping, our guy from Taiwan,
Yep.
worked with Wong Jing many times. Kung Fu Mahjong is co-directed by Billy Chung Siu Hung, who made such great films as Love to Kill, Last Ghost Standing, which
I did show it at one of my marathons. That one's really fun because it's all about like a ghost taking over cinema and being like, cinema's dead, it used to be good, and now it's bad. And it's from the guy who co-directed all of Wong Jing's films. And that movie also features a like farting, shitting elephant ghost.
there's a shit monster, just
Yeah.
like in Dogma. He's I can't remember what I was building up to, but
Wong Jing works with a lot of people, and he's loyal to his creative partners, one could say, right?
probably not.
No, probably
yeah.
not. But I'm surprised he doesn't usually do co-director credits on films.
Well,
usually he takes the credit,
Yeah.
and somebody who's not credited directs most of the movie for him.
This probably speaks to how little he directed Kung Fu Mahjong, although I think you'll agree it has the Wong Jing touch.
Well, he loves, and he said this before, directing gambling scenes. Now, the thing about Kung Fu Mahjong, number one, not a lot of kung fu in it.
No.
There's a few scenes.
That title is just more to allude to Kung Fu Hustle.
Yes, there are a few brief sequences, but not that much. Also, there's a lot of mahjong. And unlike God of Gamblers, like, you can get away with, oh, I understand what's kind of going on. The climax of this movie, me and Will were like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
Like,
20 minutes of just I'm staring at the screen. But what's great is Wong Jing himself is the villain.
oh, I forgot about that.
And he's got a little like
mustache.
and
Yep.
he's very suave. I like that. I love whenever he's in a movie, you know, my boy.
You know, I miss those kind of exploitation films coming out of places like Hong Kong of like, let's rush it out. Let's get it. Let's try to build off this trend. I mean, Wong Jing is mostly leading the charge on this one. Oh, what's that? Jet Li doesn't want to work with Troy Hark anymore, making Once Upon a Time in China movies. All right, let's do a parody of those films, but also get Yu Ping, the action choreographer, to do the action in my version of the movie.
Last Hero in China. Well, I just recently revisited the first 3 God of Gamblers films, and it is fun to. So Wong Jing directed all of those. Chow Yun-fat stars in the first one as the God of Gamblers, and then he didn't come back for the sequel, but. In the meantime, Stephen Chow made a parody film called, what was it called?
All for the Winner.
All for the Winner. And so his character becomes incorporated into God of Gamblers 2.
So in All for the Winner, though, God of Gamblers is a fictional movie in that universe.
Right.
But in God of Gamblers 2, Stephen Chow is now in the God of Gamblers universe.
And he's being trained by like the guy who trained the God of Gamblers.
No,
he's-
it's Andy Lau.
as God of Gamblers protege.
Yes.
Who's
And
now
they get together.
training.
That one
yeah.
has a great, like, hey, look, there's the God of Gamblers over there. And then it cuts to, like, stock footage of the first one of, like, Chow Yun-fat turning around.
That's great. But then things get really great.
Oh, I love
in
God of Gamblers.
God of Gamblers 3, where
Back to Shanghai.
Stephen Chow goes back in time.
Yes.
So like Ninja Turtles 3. And you're watching this and there's an incredible like dance number like
In a McDonald's,
in a McDonald's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
like Mac and Me.
Yeah.
And you're looking at this and it's like, wow, we are very far from God of Gamblers at this point.
But now, did you get back to brass tacks with God of Gamblers Returns?
No, I just watched the first 3. I
Okay.
obviously should. I
Because
should.
Chow Yun-fat comes back.
Yeah.
And then you have to watch all the tycoon movies, because remember, as we learned, those are the ones where Chow Yun-fat does not play the God of Gamblers in these Wong Jing directed films that came out in the 2000s, but in the second one, Chow Yun-fat does show up playing the God of Gamblers.
Is this from Vegas to Macau
Vegas to
3?
Macau, yeah,
Yes. So
We saw it in theaters, which end was like Transformers fighting. And we were like, what's going on?
I think we've probably lost all of our audience at this point. They're
Perfect.
so confused. No, you're right. This is where we should be.
Yes.
If you're still listening, you are a member of the Important Cinema Club.
Well, yeah, we've done we did an episode on Wong Jing, right?
We could do 10.
10 very easily. And this is why I love Wong Jing. Kung Fu Mahjong, yeah, it was fine. Not one of his wackier films. Now,
Even that's a little generous. It was
but
fine.
maybe he will improve it in Kung Fu Mahjong 2 or 3, which if I look at the years, I bet you they came, if not the same year, but the year after that. You know, it does, back in the heyday when me and Will were getting into like Hong Kong movies, it was an endless spout of shit that seemed to be never ending, much to our love. Like Wong Jing, Spy Dad, a movie that's been completely forgotten to time.
We both saw it.
We both saw it, which is mostly made up of parodies of The Matrix Reloaded.
I was so unappreciative. I rented Spy Dad from the library.
Yeah.
Because a kid in the suburbs, I was desperate for
Anything that had Chinese writing on it, you probably picked it up.
Yeah, so that was one of the ones I watched. I thought it was terrible. Maybe it still is terrible. All I know is I would give anything to go down to the Young and Dundas Cineplex and see a movie like The Spy Dad.
I remember buying a bootleg DVD of that movie and watching it with a big smile on my face.
What was it that attracted you? Was it Wong Jing?
It was Wong Jing, yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, I had seen City Hunter, so I'm like, nothing with Wong Jing on it could be bad.
That's
With
right.
a young Justin, so. And
Meanwhile, Wong Jing's like Krusty the Clown, like rubber stamping all of his movies.
well, we should. Oh, you know what we should do an episode on that no one has done in English? The Wesley movies. So there's like Seven's Curse is technically a Wesley
Okay.
movie. Legend of Wesley. It's a bunch of like Indiana Jones style novels that multiple people have done.
yes, I do.
And in the 2000s, Andrew Lau directed an all CGI Centro Digital Wesley's Mysterious Files. Just a horrifying monstrosity. But if we do all of them, maybe we'll get a picture of the Wesley hero.
Well, when we do franchise month,
Yes.
Again.
Franchise months. When do we do franchise months?
I'm hype. I'm proposing it now.
Oh,
At some
yeah.
point, we could do franchise month. And we would
Wesley, yeah,
do
get
the
right
Wesley,
in.
the Wesley films.
People are like, do Wesley,
Okay.
do Wesley.
Franchise month. The Wesley films, the Cannonball Run films.
Have we not talked about Cannonball Runs? We just watched.
Oh, we might have done a Patreon episode.
Yeah, on number 1. Yeah. No. Smokey and the Bandit.
Well, we've definitely talked about
Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah, but we haven't done the other ones, like Smokey and the Bandit 2.
Smokey is the Bandit. The third one.
TV movies directed by Hal Needham.
Oh, that's what we need to do. All the TV movies that Smokey and the Bandit TV movies. Yeah.
All right, wait. You have no other franchise? Cannonball Run.
Well, Kung Fu Mahjong. You know, the biggest franchise. When are they going to reboot that one?
All right, that's good.